Senator Smith is retiring from the U.S. Senate this year. She is using their last months in office to advance progressive agendas and has led the effort to keep copper mining near the boundary waters in an attempt to stop it. That is her speaking on the Senate floor when very few people were there.
Yes,
but you did speak
true.
for 5 hours. Thank you, Senator Smith, for coming in. We'll get to that in a bit, but I do want to ask you, a big progressive show of support in Rochester yesterday for Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. You are one of the foremost people endorsing her, perhaps the most important. Why Peggy Flanagan?
I just think that Peggy Flanagan is built for this moment, right at this moment when so many Americans have lost faith that government can actually deliver the results that they need when they are struggling to afford their lives. We need people who are ready to challenge the status quo and are ready to go against what I consider to be a very corrupt campaign financing system. And Peggy has been challenging the status quo her entire life. I think the Senate needs voices like hers, and I'm just very excited about what she's going to bring to that body that I think needs a little bit of a disruption in this moment.
Shaking up, maybe?
Yes, exactly.
Right. I do want to ask you about the boundary waters. You have, obviously, that vote 50 to 49, you lost that despite the 5-hour speech that you gave. But you've indicated that battle may have been lost, but not the war. Can you explain that?
Absolutely. Well, it was so close in the Senate. We came very close to stopping it. What we wanted to do was to keep this moratorium in place to protect the boundary waters from copper sulfide mining, which in every single instance where it has happened in this country has ended up polluting the water. But now what will happen is the moratorium will be lifted, and then the extensive mining permitting process will go forward, both at the federal level and also at the state level. And I think the real action is going to be at the state level, as state decision makers, including the next governor, will have a very important role to play in making sure that this incredible wilderness is protected. And that's going to be the big fight.
All right. Well, Representative Pete Stauber, of course, is the person who introduced the bill. He has this is his comment specifically about you. My colleague, Senator Smith, spread quite a bit of misinformation on what my mining resolution did. My bill does not allow for mining in the boundary waters or the surrounding buffer zone, nor does it bypass state and federal permitting. Her lack of confidence in Minnesota's skilled union miners and workers is insulting to their hard work and dedication. Many of my constituents are excited about what this bill means for the region and the state. I'm sure you have a response to that.
No, thank you for giving me a chance to respond. First of all, this mine is built on the doorstep of the boundary waters, so the pollution that it causes will flow into the boundary waters and on into Voyageurs National Park. Second of all, I have great confidence in Minnesota miners and building trades workers, and that's why I've been so clear that it is this mine in this place that is the challenge. Minnesota has an incredible tradition, a future as well in mining, but that doesn't mean that we believe that every mine and every place is the right thing for this state. And I think that's why nearly 70% of Minnesotans, not only around the state, but also in the 8th District, don't think that this is a good idea.
All right. Well, you definitely have stood up for that. You have been also one of the senators that has been most outspoken about the war in Iran. And there's one part of your opposition that I think has not gotten a lot of attention. You and 10 others, senators, wrote a letter to Secretary Hegseth asking about the cuts to the civilian harm mitigation and response programs, expressing your concerns about the deaths to civilians in Iran. Tell me about that letter, and have you gotten any kind of response?
Yeah. Well, so first, let's acknowledge that 13 Americans have died in service in this terrible, chaotic, and I think inexcusable war, and also thousands of Irani civilians. And at a time when the Trump administration is asking for $1.5 trillion in a budget for the Department of Defense, they have also cut the part of the department that is organized to help to minimize civilian harm in wars. So we sent a letter to the Secretary of Defense asking him why this is happening. We've not gotten a response back, but I think many people are looking at the United States bombing schools and causing great civilian harm and wondering, how could that happen? How could the intelligence failures allow U.S. bombs to be dropped on school children?
Well, I know amongst the people who signed it, the 11 senators, was Senator Mark Kelly, who obviously has experience in the military. In terms of looking ahead to the next 8 months, do you feel sort of liberated in a way because you don't have to run for re-election?
You know, people ask me that question all the time, and they say, do you think that you're like more out there because you're not running for election? I think I would be pretty much who I am. Maybe I have a little less stress about it. And certainly running a statewide campaign is a huge undertaking and a huge job. And I'm really glad that for these last 8 months, I can focus solely on being the best senator that I can be as we head towards what has just been such a chaotic and honestly really frightening and so disruptive year for so many Minnesotans, with costs going up and what happened with Operation Metro Surge and their worries about the war in Iran. It feels like a really good time for me to be able to focus exclusively on being a senator.
All right. Well, there certainly are a lot of issues there. Thank you so much, Senator Smith, for coming in.
Thank you.
We want to let you know that Republicans also have their endorsing convention the last weekend in May. Among those running for the GOP nomination for U.S. Senate, Adam Schwarzy, Michelle Tafoya, and Royce White.